Number 12 seed, James Madison at 5 seed, Oregon. Ducks favored 21.5 points, over under 50.5.
Yeah, before I pick, I got a couple thoughts on that. I coached at Bowling Green and I coached at Utah, and Utah was the first non-BCS team to play in a BCS bowl. And people hammered us about that. I remember Trev Alberts was, I believe, on ESPN and made some really harsh comments about, and I went after him a little bit and said, you don't understand, the players we have coming. I offered to buy him a ticket to come watch practice. I said, I'll buy your ticket and come watch us, and then you tell me if we don't belong. And obviously, we finished number 3 in the country that year, so we did belong. James Madison, I think this whole thing's got to be. It's everything's good. Everything's really good. The interest, the playoff. There's got to be a couple reboots here, and a reboot would be I would mandate that at James Madison or a non-Power 4, you have to play three programs in the top 50, or you can't be, win your conference and win whatever, but you can't be considered. And that would tell the ADs and all that, then, because you have to be judged on that. You can't be judged on the other games. You just can't. And I'm not disrespecting. I coached in the MAC conference. It's awesome. I mean, my God, there's first rounders in those conferences. However, you're telling the Fighting Irish to sit home and James Madison's going. And some people, whether it's right or I didn't want to say right or wrong or deserving or not, the better team's supposed to be in the game.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
So if you're telling me James Madison and Vegas comes out and says, well, James Madison would beat Notre Dame, then they made the right choice. If not, then it's not the right choice.
Coach, I get your point, but
but what?
I don't know how
Don't say but.
No, I will say but. And you'll understand in a second, because you want to put, and again, I know this is just a brief idea and you haven't laid out the whole thesis for it. I understand that. But to say they have to schedule a top 50 team. So what is a top 50 team? Like are we talking preseason? Because a lot of times you'd say Oklahoma State. We scheduled Oklahoma State. Good on us. But Oklahoma State's not a top 50 team right now.
That should count. But
okay. So that's what I'm saying. Just like that
involved in the scheduling. But you have to. But they don't. They'll schedule one.
Agreed. The other problem, the other pushback might be those programs don't want to schedule a James Madison or a Tulane because they're just good enough that they could screw it up for them, right? And that's a pay game, right? Like you're paying Tulane, you're paying James Madison to come. And you're like, well, wait a second, do we want to bring in a good team that's really going to push us? I get it, and I think the big boys, the big dogs, as you say, right? The big dogs need to play as well. Like, okay, if you want one of these spots, we have to sacrifice one of our Saturdays to take you on so you can prove that you belong, or we can prove that you're not good enough. And then
Miss played Tulane and beat them 45-10 earlier this year. So
you got ahead of me. I'm going to talk about that in a second.
Okay, my bad.
All right, Coach, we digress.
Let me give you the score or my feelings on that. I think you're going to run into a buzzsaw in Autzen. I think you got a bunch of players in Oregon that, they're kind of used to winning the big. They won the Big Ten last year, so I think, and I know that
100-0, Coach.
I'm not saying a hundy, but I'm saying this could be a tough go for the boys at James Madison. And I don't want to disrespect James Madison because they had a great year.
They did.
They had a great year. They have an excellent coach. But I'm saying that I think it's minus 21.5 is the spread.
That's the line?
I'm saying that's going to be.
That's the line.
That's going to be a 30. That's going to be a 30 burger.
I'm betting.
You think a 30 burger? I don't think people are giving Oregon enough credit right now. Like
Oregon's one of the top teams. They could win it. They could win.
I agree.
21.5 is the line.
Yeah,
I'm betting
and
that.
The winner,
they're covering that.
The winner gets Texas Tech.
100-0.
A lot of. It's not going to be 100-0. It's not going to be 100-0. Listen, Oregon's got a lot of questions at wideout with the health as well, but Sadiq at tight end has been, he's been the best tight end in the Big Ten.
3 running backs.
Tight end of the year. Yeah, I agreed. People are not talking enough about Oregon.
2 words, Autzen Stadium.
Yeah, enough said.
Yep.
All right, so Coach likes the Ducks. Makes sense. All right, I have number 20 Tulane at number 6 Ole Miss. The Rebs favored by 17.5, over under 56.5 mark. As you mentioned, a rematch of a September meeting in Oxford. Ole Miss won it comfortably, 45-10. The quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss, had himself a day, 419 total yards and 2 touchdowns. That, though, was with Lane Kiffin as the head coach. We all know Lane is in Baton Rouge right now. So former defensive coordinator Pete Golding was handed the keys like instantaneously, like right away to try and keep coaches, try and keep players as they go to their first ever playoff game. I did some research on Coach Golding, spent time coaching at Delta State, Southeastern Louisiana, Southern Miss, UTSA, Alabama. Mark, he was on their staff when they won the 2020 national title. Last 3 seasons, Coach Golding was the DC at Ole Miss. You know what's missing from his resume, though, Coach? Head coaching experience. None. So he makes his head coaching debut in arguably the most anticipated game in the history of Oxford, right? So how is he going to handle that moment? How are his players going to handle this transition? Tons of distractions out there, right? And they've been going on for a while. But I feel like there's this chance to win each group over. Like Coach Golding has the opportunity to win his players over. The players have the opportunity to win Coach Golding over. I see this as a unification type moment. Like, let's rally together. Let's do this. It's a perfect tune-up for what will be Georgia in the quarterfinals in New Orleans at the Sugar Bowl. So I like Ole Miss to cover guys and play with, I'm going to call it an excitable edge. I think Ole Miss, their story is far from being written. All right, Mark, a good one. Number 10, Miami heads down to Texas A&M. The Aggies, they are your 7 seed. Favored, though, by only 3.5. Over under is 51.5.
Listen, man, y'all was talking about them games, them Rudy Poos. Let's talk some real football. This is a real
Rudy Poos, the Rock,
Rudy Poo candy. No, but no. Now we got some real football. A&M, Miami. Guess what? Miami's first time in the playoff. A&M's first time in the playoff at Kyle Field. We know how Kyle Field is. You talk about Austin earlier, Coach. Kyle Field is another one of those venues. You got 2 of the best pass rushing teams in the country going head to head. Miami leads the ACC in sacks. A&M leads the nation in sacks. In addition to 2 of the nation's best individual pass rushers going against each other. You got Reuben Bain Jr. You got Reuben Bain down there in Miami, one of the top graded prospects in the NFL draft, going against Texas A&M's Cassius Howell, 11.5 sacks on the season. So both of these D lines correct the game. So I think a lot's going to come down to how these quarterbacks manage the pressure. Now, you know Marcel Reed, his ability to be able to run the ball with his legs, electric with his legs, that'll be paramount in this game going against Miami's rushing attack. Miami's pass rushing attack. But then you got Carson Beck. How do they do that? Quick passing game.
What Carson Beck are we going to see, right?
Like
Carson Beck throwing it
to
Hurricanes
what you say,
throwing
Coach?
it to Aggies.
Is it Carson Beck? Is it Carson Beck A player or Carson Beck B player? If it's
Carson Beck B, they lose.
Carson Beck B, they lose and get thumped. But
yeah,
what Carson Beck has going for him is Malachi Toney, baby Jesus. You get the quick passing game to him. He's had back-to-back games, over 10 receptions, over 100 yards. Mark Fletcher Jr. running the football. That'll be paramount. Get on schedule. Get positive plays on first and second down. Because if you get to 3rd and long, Texas A&M, what their defense is good at getting off the field on 3rd down. Their defense is great at rushing the passer. So in this game, we know the pass rush will be a paramount. We know being able to stay ahead of the chains will be paramount with great pass rushers. I think in this game, the difference is Marcel Reed's ability to use his legs, electric in the run game, electric scrambling, electric with off-schedule plays, him throwing the ball down the field to Mario Craver, him throwing the ball down the field to Casey Concepcion.
Mm-hmm.
They got some dogs now, I'm telling you. The running back, Ruben Owens is second. He's their leading rusher. We got some questions. Le'Veon Moss, will he be available? That's their number 1 back. He's been hurt with an ankle injury all year long. Possible to be available? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. That could be a big boost for them. But I think A&M at Kyle Field, I think 3.5 is a little too much. I think it's going to be a 1, 2, 3 point game
Ooh.
at Kyle
Wow.
Field. I think it's going to be a close game, but I got the Aggies winning.